believe I'm live now. I believe I'm live. I believe I'm live. Okay. I think I'm live? Pretty sure. Okay, boys. Time to buckle up. But first, I'm going to share this stream. You know, I just want to have just you and me. That's it. Just you and me. And we're just going to talk about this, alright? Just going to talk about everything Nintendo. And play some good games by an actually decent company. I'm not going to say that, you know, Sony's a god or anything, but I can say that they are way better than Nintendo. So I'm just gonna play something, you know. Okay, let me share this stream. Let me make sure. Okay, I'm gonna turn down the Elgato. Okay. Let me know if the Elgato is too loud or anything, and I'll turn it down. Oh, there's, hold on. Okay. Put that. Alright. Hello. I see 2 viewers. I'm just gonna share this on Twitter, and then we can start talking about this. And like I said, buckle up, because we're going to be here a while. There's a live stream link. Give me just a second. I'm almost there. Almost done. Alright. I saw hashtag Nintendo is over party. That is the only cancel culture I believe in right now. And I think, and I'm not saying that cancel culture is good. I'm just saying that right now they got a pretty good case in point. Let me see. Okay. Let me do one more thing. I'm going to add, let's see. Okay. I'm doing something while I'm waiting. Let's see. Okay. Yep. Okay. Okay. I know it's in my way. Okay. Hold on a second. I'm gonna shrink in just a second. Just bear with me a second. Okay, properties, because this is a rant stream, so I feel it's best that I get you guys in the stream. So let's see. Let me crop this. I'm doing stuff while I'm waiting for everybody else, so that way they don't really miss anything. You get what I mean? Okay, just gonna crop the top. Okay, that's not okay. 0. Whoa. I wasn't finished yet. We're like, don't go away, because I will be talking about this. Don't you worry. I am just gonna give people some time while I set this up to get in here. Okay, I'm just gonna keep going and going and going. Okay, my bad. Sorry. Okay, keep going. Almost. Almost got it. This is my first time trying this, so bear with me, will you? Okay, I'll just leave that. Just so I make sure I get everything. Okay. Alright, we'll try that. Put that right there. There we go. Okay, I'll make that smaller. Okay. Alright, so I guess we can start. Put that right here. Okay. So I can check on the stream. Okay. Alright, let's get started. Let's just boot up a game here. Okay, let me switch back to PS4 on my other monitor. Okay. Alright. So, first off. Alright, let's play a game from a company that actually respects their fan base. I don't want to play Persona 5 because that's a very I'm playing through that. I'm new to that game, and I don't feel like playing it while I'm not paying attention. You get what I mean? Because like I have to pay attention to all the character dialogue and RPG mechanics and all that. But we're gonna go ahead play Sonic Mania. Just play through a little bit of Sonic Mania and just talk about everything. And if y'all have questions, please start sending them your way. Start sending them my way, I mean. Start sending them my way so I can start answering. Get the conversation started. Wish Team Sonic Racing was installed. I should install Team Sonic Racing and start the stream, but hey, you know what? Okay, we're gonna play different games, but we're just gonna start with Sonic Mania for right now. I feel like it's the best example to talk about. Just while I feel like it's the best example, like the polar opposite of what we're talking about today. All right. Okay. Let's go Sonic and Tails. That's okay. I'm about done with Nintendo, as the title suggests. Like, I'm not gonna dance around this. I'm not gonna pretend that they were a good company. I'm not even saying that I thought they were a good company before this. But Nintendo has always been a bad company. Always. There ain't no dancing around it. They've always have. I must stress, I will say this right off the top. Like, right off the top. Nintendo makes great games. I am not going to say that they don't make great games. I will not say that they are just completely bad, because they're not. But I've gotten to the point where I can't support a company who is doing shameful practices such as this. You get what I mean? Like, they've done so much in the past, but what they did today just takes the cake. So, and I recorded a whole rant video talking about it, and I recorded a whole rant video about it, and my mic unfortunately did not record it. So I thought probably the next best way is to just, do this over live stream. Now I guess we'll discuss, like, what's my background with Nintendo, so y'all don't think that I'm just a Nintendo hater. I've been a Nintendo hater. Like I said before, I love Nintendo's games. They make great games. Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, Luigi's Mansion, Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, just to name a few. And while we're on that subject, well, we'll get to that later. We're going to talk about it. We're not just going to talk about what recently happened. We're going to talk about a lot. And so so the first console I ever had was I'm going to make this a little shorter. Like a little thing, because it's kind of blocking the... Okay. That should be good. If y'all want it bigger, let me know. I think that's good size though. But my first ever console was my first ever gaming machine. Was the Nintendo 64, and my first ever game was Super Mario 64. I didn't get it on launch day. That's just like I got it. Like I got the Nintendo 64 like when the PS2 came out. I'm pretty sure. Like, oh well, no, the PS2 was out because I was born in 2001, and I think I got the N64 at around when I was like 7, so I would have been 2008. I don't know. Nah, I don't know. But it doesn't matter. What?
Tell me while Rebecca's in the trailer park and I didn't do it, so I'm going down there and hang out with her for a little bit.
Okay. I apologize for that. Where was I? Okay. So my first ever console was Nintendo 64. Super Mario 64 was my first ever game. So I did get a PS2 later, but then I got the Wii. Pretty much everyone did, because, you know, perfect casual machine. And I got that when the Wii U came out. I got the Wii instead of the Wii U. So I have a pretty deep history with Nintendo, and then I got my Nintendo Switch, and I like the Switch. I don't like it right now, but you know, I like the Switch. It's a good console. You know what I mean? Good console. And then its game library is pretty good. I mentioned like Breath of the Wild, Super Mario. I like Super Mario Odyssey more than Breath of the Wild. I know that's a pretty good hot take, but I am more of a fan. But anyway, that's besides the point. But so that's basically my history. And now let's start. I danced around this long enough. I was trying to wait till people got here, but I don't know. But anyway, what Nintendo did today was petty. Again, no dancing around it. It was petty. So what did happen today? For those of you that don't know, there was this apparently happened last month. I didn't know it was that long ago, but apparently it was. There was a Melee tournament, and obviously due to the pandemic, you can't really have a in-person tournament, like in person. So a tournament called the Big House decided to use a mod for an emulator, for the emulator, Dolphin. An emulator, I must stress. I forgot to go for the ring, but hey, I'm not really here to play good. I'm just something, but I assume they were using Dolphin because that's the most popular GameCube emulator, but anyway. So they modded the emulator. They did not mod the game, they modded the emulator. And the mod in question is called Slippy. I think that's what it's called, I'm pretty sure. And basically what it does is it creates a strong online matchmaking and servers for games like Super Smash Bros. Melee, basically any GameCube game that has multiplayer support. Obviously the most popular being Super Smash Bros. Super Smash Bros. Melee. So, they were gonna have tournaments for both Super Smash Bros. Melee and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. But again, for Smash Bros. Melee does not have online. So they used a mod for the emulator, I must stress, because we're gonna get into that later. They used a mod for the emulator called Slippy, which adds online support, like I said. And it is a mod for the emulator, not the ROM, the emulator. And Nintendo, in their glory, they shut down the tournament. The reason they gave was because it used Slippy. They said they were using illegal ROMs, which you cannot say that. You cannot say that without proof. And I know what you're gonna say. Well, ROMs are illegal. No, they're not. No, they're not. If you have an internet, a ROM downloaded from the internet, that is wrong. Yes, that is wrong. But if you make your own ISO, basically if you put the game disc into your computer and rip the ISO file and emulate it, that is perfectly fine and legal. As long as you use an emulator that isn't just rewritten GameCube code. The Dolphin emulator, for example, almost any emulator, because they don't want to get a cease and desist. They use completely rewritten code. They use their own code, their own unique written code. So the emulator is okay, and the mod is okay. The mod is for the emulator, and the ROM, you will assume is legal. I'm not gonna pretend that every single ROM file in the tournament, everyone that was using the ROM, they had a. But you'd assume, because you would assume that everyone that was going into the tournament wasn't using a pirated ROM. They, like, you know, because you would assume that everyone who plays plays Melee professionally would use a real copy, a real ripped ISO copy instead of a pirated one, because that would mess with the I don't think pirated ISO, but I'm pretty sure they would want to anyway, so that way they don't get in any trouble. And like I said, I'm pretty sure it's safe to assume that every single person in the tournament is using has a perfectly has a disc copy of Super Smash Bros. Melee, because they play the damn thing, so they're obviously training. You know what I mean? They're training and all that. But Nintendo shuts them down anyway, because I don't know, I don't know. But I do know, actually, because when you enter into emulators, Nintendo they are so close-minded when it comes to emulators. They always assume that when you're using an emulator, that's not in their control. When you're using a GameCube, when you're using a Nintendo Switch especially, then you are in a Nintendo console, and you are fully in control. And Nintendo is fully in control of that. Not really much with the GameCube, but with online and all that. But you're using something that Nintendo can control. When you take it out of the equation, when you take anything out of the equation, when you take something that they can't control, when you use something that they can't control, like an emulator, even though it's perfectly legal, they will find a way around it. Because they don't want you to play these games in the way you want. They want you to play the game how they want you to play it. Even if you are playing it in a perfectly legal and safe way, they don't care. They don't want you to play. They don't want you to play the games how you want. They want you to play the games how they want you to play. Case in point, they're against emulation. They are against emulation. They've said that. They act like they're against emulation. Yet, for Super Mario 3D All-Stars, they used emulation. So, there's a bit of this thing we'd like to call hypocrisy going on. Because, they're like, oh, we're against emulation. Emulation is bad. It's ruining the game industry. Even though Nintendo used it for the 3D All-Stars collection. When they use it, it's fine. But when an individual uses it in a perfectly legal manner, then they're wrong. Because they're not playing the game how Nintendo wants you to. You are not playing in a way that Nintendo wants you to play. So therefore, they want to claim ownership. It's like if one of my videos, okay? One of my videos, and you download one of my videos. That's not exactly legal, but let's go with that. Let's just go with it. Let's not legal, but let's say one of the videos I make, and you want to download it so you can watch it offline or something like that, like in case your power goes out or your internet goes out, or something like that. and then I find out that you're trying to play my video on not on YouTube, as I want you to. I want you to watch the video on YouTube. Even though you've already watched the video, you gave me my ad revenue. I don't have ad revenue, but let's just, for the sake of argument, you've given me some ad revenue, you've watched the video, you've given me the ad revenue, and then you go ahead and download it for offline watch, and then I find out that you downloaded my video onto your computer and you're watching it, and I demand that you delete it off your computer. Basically how it is. That's basically how Nintendo is treating its customer base. They're uploading the videos, the games. They're uploading the videos, the video games, to the Nintendo Switch, YouTube, and our quotes here, in this analogy, and you, who bought a perfectly legal copy of that game, and they find out that you have it. They don't want you to play it. They want you to play it on their console. Even though when using a computer, you can play it in a way that the GameCube, Nintendo Switch, anything like that, because you can mess around with the graphics, you can get it to look pretty and all that. You can get it to look even better than it did, than it ever did. But they don't want you to do it because they want you to play on a Nintendo GameCube, they want you to play on the Nintendo Switch. So, I'll be right back. I have to run. Okay, I'm back. Oh, I don't need these. Alright. Let me turn it out a little bit. Okay. So, you're playing the game in a different way, but just not in the way that Nintendo expects you to. And they get all mad. But if that wasn't bad enough, they do something so petty. So petty. They did something so petty today. Like, well, Sunday, whenever. Saturday, Sunday, I don't know when it was. But they did something so petty. And it makes me... There were people who were... There was a hashtag going around after that whole thing with the free Melee thing. They basically saying, you know, it was hashtag free Melee. No one's gonna, but hashtag free Melee. And there were people in support of that hashtag, as they should. Because it's just right. It's just right to support it. You know what I mean? It's just right to support it. And I want to mention this. Nintendo was in their right to take down. They weren't like they perfectly legally they were in the right to take down the live stream, to cancel the event. You know, I'm not saying that they did. But morally, but ethically, it wasn't the right thing. They had no right to do so. Just because they weren't playing the game in a way that suited Nintendo. And, you know, there's an argument to be made because there is some stuff going on with the Smash tournament. There's stuff going on in the Smash tournament scene right now regarding some, you know, allegations and all that. I won't get into that because that's not what I'm here to do. I just noticed task time and space. It's okay. I agree. This is messed up. Yep. I think unless you're a diehard Nintendo fan, yeah, I'm pretty sure you agree. Anyway. But where am I? I lost my train of thought. Okay. Just with all this stuff going. Okay. So they started because especially during a pandemic, if it wasn't, you know, if this was just an online only tournament when they can get people together, that's okay. That's whatever. You know, I don't agree with it still, but I mean, it's better, you know, than what actually happened. But this is during a pandemic when no one can play Smash Melee together. So they're forced to cancel the event just because Nintendo wants to be Nintendo. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care about you. They only care about you playing it in the way that they want you to play. But anyway, so unless you're a diehard Nintendo fan, pretty much everyone's on board. So, people on Twitter have a hashtag free Melee as their name. Because, again, why wouldn't you support this? Because it's obviously Nintendo trying to take control of its fans and its customers for no reason other than they can. So, what does Nintendo do? They cancel the Splatoon tournament. They canceled the Splatoon tournament because there were people in the tournament that disagreed with them. Only because they could. That was the only reason. Because they could. Nintendo is a terrible company. Terrible company. I would be ashamed if I worked at Nintendo. Especially right now. I would be ashamed. Because Nintendo is just... Taking down ROM sites is one thing. But taking down an entire tournament because they have to use ROMs, there's no other way. They had to use ROMs. But Nintendo takes it down just because they can. I'm not gonna mess it up. Giving no other reason than just they disagree. They disagree with the people that had hashtag free melee in front of their names. That was the only reason. And you know why I'm playing Sonic Mania right now? Because this is a company that actually cares about their fans. If you don't know, Sonic Mania is made by fans. Christian Whitehead was the main leader, along with other fans, who made fan games just because they loved this franchise. No other reason. They just wanted to make fan games because they loved this franchise and they wanted to show their appreciation. And you know what Sega did? You know what Sega did? They gave them the tools necessary and the blessing of them themselves to make this game. And that just says something. That just goes a long way. This is the example of what happens when a company loves their fans. Meanwhile, there was a Sonic X reanimated video. People just took a bunch of scenes from Sonic X and reanimated them in their own animation style. Just because they wanted to. Just because they thought it was funny. Just because they wanted to... They just loved Sonic and they wanted to do... They just wanted to do their own... They wanted to do their own thing. Some of it was kind of jokey, and some of it was actually, trying to be an animation. And that's fine, They wanted to be some of them wanted to be jokey and non-serious about it, but all the animators wanted to create something good. They put time and dedication into making something great. And you know what they got? Why didn't you just make this a video? I did, but my mic didn't record, so I just made this a live stream so that way I can, I guess, say more. But you know what they got? You know what Sonic X Reanimated got? A comment from the Sonic the Hedgehog YouTube channel, the official Sonic the Hedgehog YouTube channel, just congratulating them, saying thank you, saying that they did a great job. Meanwhile, before the Sonic X Reanimated, before the Sonic X Reanimated, there was a team of people who felt the exact same way about Kirby Right Back at Ya. They reanimated, it was a full project, they reanimated an entire episode with their own visual animated style. And What does Nintendo do? They take down the video. Just because it was using Kirby, right back at you. That's all the only reason they did it. Because it was using Kirby right back at you. We have Sega actually appreciating what the fans do. And we have Nintendo taking down. How about the Sonic hacking contest expo? The Sonic the Sonic Fan Games Expo. That's what I got two of those mixed up. But could you imagine if there was a Nintendo, like Nintendo Fan Games, you know, a Mario fan game, take down in seconds? There was any type of event showing off the dedication and love that the fans have poured in to this franchise, to like the fan, like who did their hard work in creating fan games just because they want to. They would take it down within seconds of its announcement. Once it got announced, we're gonna do a Mario Fan Games Expo. We want to show the love and appreciation of Mario and its fans by showing off what the Mario fan base is capable of, showing them that they can create good stuff. It would be taken down in seconds. It would be copyright striked and take down in seconds. Again, meanwhile, Sega, they haven't really said anything about it. Not yet, at least. I feel like they're going to get on this, but so far, you know, they're just letting it be. And that's fine. And, you know, that's fine too. I'm not asking that every company should applaud, you know, such an event or something like that. But you know, just let them do it. They want to show their fans, they just want to show appreciation for they want to do it because they love the series. And they just want to give off their own take and ideas and interpretation. But Nintendo sees it as copyright infringement. Because Nintendo doesn't see fan games as a task of appreciation and love. They take it as copyright infringement, just like any business would. But I can hear what you're saying. You know, fan games, people will think that the fan games are true Nintendo products when they're not. That's fair. That's completely fine. That's completely fine to think so. I don't agree, but you know, it's a thought. It's a thought to have. So you tell me, you try to defend what Nintendo did when Dreams was first released. If you don't know, there is a fan game called Dreams. There was a game called Dreams on the PS4. Basically what it is it's a game engine, and you get to make stuff. They give you the game engine and they say, have at it, go wild, create your dream. And of course, people made Nintendo, Mario, Zelda, Smash Brothers. They make those inspired games because that's what they wanted to make. They wanted to, you know, some of them, you know, aren't. They're not the highest quality stuff, and a lot of them are jokes and memes and stupid games. And some of them make fun of Mario. You know, using the games to make fun of Mario, but a lot of them are made to are just made out of love and appreciation. They want to create fan games, but What does Nintendo do? They tell Sony to take down every Nintendo related game off Dreams. You cannot defend that. You cannot defend that. You can't defend that for even a second. Because you can't use the fan game argument that, you know, people just think it's a game actually made by Nintendo. When the whole point of Dreams is that people just like you made the game. So Nintendo has no defense against the Dreams. You know, I gave them I obviously wasn't in support of it, but I gave them a little bit of a pass with the whole fan games thing. I get mad at them, and I think that they shouldn't do it, but I can give them a little bit of a pass because technically it is copyright infringement. Technically. But Dreams, again, a game that is meant to it says up front that is created by people. Yet they remove it anyway. Just because they don't want it. They don't want any Mario game, or they don't want Mario, Zelda, anything. They don't want anything. They don't want anything that's not. They don't want anything that's not Nintendo related. Like they don't want anything. They don't want anything Nintendo related unless Nintendo has made it or authorized it. Licensed the company out. Koei Tecmo just recently made Hyrule Warriors. Unless they officially endorse it and it's on Nintendo hardware. But then it gets even worse. As a fan-made project, someone wanted to make a remake Mario 64 in Unity. Just to say that they could do it, and they were proud of what they did. But it was just a video, no download link. You can't it is just a down. It was just a download link. That was all it was. And Nintendo pulled it down. The video. They took down the video. They sent a copyright strike out and deleted the video. Again, all because they could. No other reason given. It wasn't a Let's Play, so they took it down. Hold on. I'm sorry, so I need to wait a minute. just getting sick of Nintendo. I don't want to hate them. You know, because they make awesome stuff. They really do. They make great games. I have to stress that every time I talk about this. I can't deny that Nintendo is like that. I can't say that they're worthless, because they truly make great games. Well,
You haven't had a shower yet, have you?
okay, I apologize. I don't want to hate Nintendo, because like I said, they make great games. Animal Crossing. But I want to talk about something else while we're on about Nintendo. They make overpriced games. They make overpriced stuff. The Nintendo Switch should not be $300. In no world should it be $300. And I'm not saying that because I think Nintendo, because again, I must stress, the hardware is great. The hardware is good. I like the hardware. But it should not be $300, because it is a outdated machine. It is completely outdated. It is an Xbox 360, and yet they are asking for $300 when you can get a PS4. I'm pretty sure around this time as well, around the time that the Switch launched, you could get a PS4 for $200. Maybe. Okay, all right, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I don't know if you could get a PS4 or like in 2017 for $200, but I know especially you can now. You could get a PS4 for $200. And yet they want to ask $300 from you. And, you know, that'd be okay. That'd be a little okay. If they at least put the hardware on sale, which they have not. And they never put their hardware on sale until it gets discontinued. Until their new console releases. They keep, instead of trying to reel in new customers, because you know it's not just a consumer thing. It's just a business decision to lower the price of entry for your game console, so more people can play your games, stuff like that. And while we're talking about games, as I have stressed over and over and over again, Nintendo makes great games, but they should not be $60. Nowhere near. Because their games are outdated. Their games are outdated in terms of graphical power, so therefore they do not require as much development time. Therefore, it should not be $60. Now, I could be okay with this. It wouldn't matter that much if the games actually went on sale. But Breath of the Wild, a 2017 title, a Nintendo Switch launch title, is still $60. And I can buy a copy of Doom Eternal, which released this year for the PS4, for $30. Not $60, $30. And over Black Friday, I could have gotten it for $20. and that's Bethesda. And y'all know Bethesda ain't the greatest company in the world. And they put their games on sale when they don't make a console, because Nintendo has both the price of the console, like they have both the income of the console, and they have the income of the games as well. They have double income, you know, because game companies like Bethesda, they basically have to put their games on sale in order to make a profit, because, you know, like they don't have a console to make profit off of. They only have the games because they are a game development studio. Yet Nintendo, who is a console manufacturer and a game developer, who make their own in-house games, they keep their games at $60. Again, they want you to pay for that. They want you to pay $60 for all of their games and never put them on sale, because they want their stuff to be expensive. They think that their stuff should be expensive. And there are just a lot of games that should not be $60, because one of the things I love about Sony, other than the fact that they put their games on sale about a year after release, they wait about a year, but there's usually a permanent price cut to about $20, and then the PlayStation Hits version release, which I don't really like PlayStation Hits, but you know, there's a price cut to $20, and then there's the PlayStation Hits version for $20. But you know, to your casual consumer that doesn't care about the red case, that's fine, you know, because most of the core fan base will want to buy the game like when the game releases, when the game launches, day one. That's totally fine. But Nintendo doesn't put their games on sale. In fact, some of their games were actually $40 during Black Friday, and that's considered a steal because they never put their games on sale. Never. When again, I can buy Doom Eternal, which is a game that was released this year, for $30, half the price than it was at launch. Grand Theft Auto, $20, $30, around there. What about Sony? Again, I mentioned this earlier. They put all of their games on sale about a year after they release. Takes a year, but hey, you know what? You gotta make that development time back. That's completely fine. You gotta make the development cost and everything back, and then they put the game on sale, because once they paid for development, then they can make profit back. Then they like, if they put the game on sale, more people will buy it, and like all that money is theirs. Like they don't have to pay the game developers anymore. I mean, sure, they have to pay like the studio, but most of that they get to keep, because all that $20 is basically theirs. You know, there's 15. Like, I mean, I'm sure there is, they have to pay the studio, of course. They still have to pay the studio, but they don't have to pay all the developers and all that. They make all their money back from development. Like, okay, they don't have to pay back. They just have to make all of their money back. How this works is, okay, if I spend about $1 million making a game, and then I make that $100 million back, then after I make the $1 million back, then that money's mine. It's all mine. I'm not in debt anymore. I'm done. Like I've made it all back. So, what game companies, again, unlike Nintendo, what they do is they put their games on sale so that way more casual audiences will buy them. And then, like I said, after that, basically all that money is theirs. They get all the money back. Like, all that money is theirs. They don't have to spend it on trying to recoup all development costs. It's fully theirs. And then you also have the opposite side of the coin. Like with Avengers right now. Avengers is 50% off, like $30. And that game is underperforming right now, so they're trying to make all the money back that they spent on the game. So they kind of have to put the game on sale. But you know, they put the game on sale. They don't keep the game full price forever. It usually goes on sale about a year after release. So if you're not interested in a game, or if you're only buying the game for your collection, just wait. Just wait and buy it on sale. So that way you're not wasting your money. Problem solved. If you're not interested in Spider-Man, if you don't want to play, if you don't want to pay $50 or $70 for the Spider-Man game, just wait. Just wait till later. The only thing is, the other thing is that they usually put the games on sale to compete with used prices, because used games, that stays with the publisher. I mean, with the retailer. That stays with retailer. That doesn't go back to the publisher. So, if like, let's say the used copy. Let's say a used copy of Doom Eternal is $17 right now, and the new version is $20. It's like, well, why would I get the used version? Like, the new version is obviously in better condition, and I don't have to worry about it. So it's just best to get the new copy. So that's how they compete. They compete with used prices as well. But yet, Nintendo makes both an anti-consumer decision and an anti-business decision by making their games $60 and making it stay that way for no reason other than they can. Because they want to rake in all the profit they can on games that do not deserve it. And here's where I was getting at. Like, Sony has variety in their prices. Not all of their games are $60. Not every single one of their games are $60. Miles Morales was $50. They had a Medieval remake about a couple years ago, I don't remember. And it was like, I think it was only $30 at launch. I'm pretty sure it was just $30. That was it. And now it has a price cut of $10. I was almost gonna buy it today, but I didn't. But it has a price cut of $10. But yet Nintendo, with their Link's Awakening remake, a Game Boy game in heart, is $60. I managed to get it on GameStop for $40 during Black Friday, and I don't even know if I'm going to play it right now because I don't even want to play a Nintendo game. And and obviously, like that's the thing. Like, Nintendo makes great games. You can't just ignore their games. Like, if you're a fan, I mean, sure, if you're not a fan, then you can ignore their games just fine. Like, that's okay. But if you're a fan of their games, and like, you have every right to be a fan of their games. Don't think that just because they're making dumb decisions that you don't have a right to be a fan of their games, because, like, again, Nintendo makes great stuff. They make great games. Again, overpriced, sure, but I mean, hey, a good video game is a good video game. I'm not gonna lie. That's kind of the argument. Like, that's kind of how I feel about games being $70 now. I know it is a little bit of a bummer, and it's very, should this game really be 70? Talk, but at least, again, if I don't have faith in the game, if I don't have faith in the title, just don't buy it. Just don't buy it. Wait till it goes on sale, because it eventually will. It'll eventually go on sale. But because like again, a good video game's a good video game. If you if they cost that much, you know, you can't really say anything about it. And you know, with the new stuff that's coming out, all the ray tracing and SSD, you know, like, I mean, it's pretty impressive technology. You know, at least you can say, you know, that's where the money's going. You know what I mean? But like Nintendo, if Nintendo makes their games $70, that's it, because they don't deserve to have their games $70, because they're not worth $60, and they definitely aren't worth $70. And again, it wouldn't hurt so bad if they actually put their games on sale frequently. And it's just mind-boggling, because it's both a good consumer decision and a good business decision. It helps both sides. More people buy the game because it's at a cheaper price, and we get games at a cheaper price. You know, if we don't have faith in the title, wait for reviews, and then if we still don't feel like buying it, just wait till it goes on sale. Like about a year later. But no. And again, if you're a collector and you know you're basically just buying the games because you know you gotta fill out that collection, you know, like there's no point in waiting to buy a Nintendo game, because it's never gonna go on sale. You know, like, you know, you spend $60 to get Link's Awakening. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it, you know what I mean? It's just not worth it. Nintendo is just stuck. Nintendo's stuck. When did the NES release? Like 1980, 1990, well, not 1990. Like 1960, 1970, whatever. Whenever it released. Nintendo is stuck in the past. Their policies, their rules are so 1900s. And they need to get out of this phase. Technology cannot evolve until the companies surrounding technology and the government laws evolve. We cannot evolve as a species unless the people higher than us evolve. But you know, Nintendo doesn't care. Nintendo does not care. They don't care about you. They only care about whether you're putting money in their pocket or not. And they don't care. They only care if you love their series. If you're putting money in the wall, they don't care anything else. If you love the series that you pour your heart. That was a big wind. If you pour your heart into a fan game, into fan art, into anything, into fan art, then they don't care. Fan game, fan art, anything. They don't care. They immediately take it down. I don't know about fan art. There isn't that much of a history of fan art, but what about and you know what? And there are some people, and I see this argument all the time, is that Nintendo's not the only one. You know, all companies only want your money. Yeah, companies want money. That's true. Like, they got to keep their lights on somehow. But not all companies are so boneheaded as Nintendo. And there's worse companies. Well, not worse in terms of how they treat their community and their customers. You know, there's worse overall. You know, there's EA, there's Bethesda, and there's Activision. Activision, who fired off a bunch of employees, even though they have bukus of money. But you know, I don't want to hear that all game companies only want money, because that's not true. I can tell you plenty of examples. Again, Sonic Mania was developed by fans. What else has Sega done? Sega has periodically shown fan art on all of their streams. They have shown fan art on their Twitter page. They have reshared it. They have commented sometimes. Not all the time, sometimes. Okay, what about, well, Sega, Sega is a little bit of a, they're not, they kind of want good publicity. You could argue that. That's fine. But one thing I want to say, Nintendo's games aren't $70. Thanks for watching. Yeah, I know. Definitely not. But so, if you want to argue that Sega is doing it for publicity because they're not in a good spot right now, which they actually make more money than people believe. Like they're actually like, I'm not like, they are like in a rough spot, but they're not like broke. Basically, they're not almost in bankruptcy. They're getting by, but you could argue that Sega is just doing it for publicity, and you know what? Hey, you know what? If it's just for publicity, that's, it's something, But I think it's like half and half. Maybe they're being like, if Nintendo, if Sega was as popular as Nintendo, like, I don't think they would share. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't care about fan art and all that, like, and fan games and all that. But I'm pretty sure they wouldn't, But how about an example of a company that does support, of a big, huge company that makes billions of dollars, millions, not billions, millions of dollars. Square Enix, the makers of Final Fantasy, Nier Automata. There was a fan on Twitter that created amazing fan art of Nier Automata, just because they love the franchise and they just wanted to do it. They love the franchise. They just wanted to show their appreciation. You know what Square Enix did? They commented and said, "Thank you." They commented and said, "Thank you. We are very appreciative to have fans like you creating awesome stuff." And if Square Enix could do it, then what is Nintendo's excuse? What is Nintendo's excuse? Now, Square Enix might take down fan games. I don't know. There hasn't been an example. As far as I know, there's not really an example of them taking down fan games. But that's just good. Like that's a good showing. That's just a good showing that you appreciate all of your fans and their fan art. Again, I haven't really seen anything about Square Enix shutting down a fan game or anything, but at least they're showing appreciation of their fans. While again, Nintendo is over here taking down fan games, dream creations, shutting down tournaments, etc. Because all they care about is your money. They do not care about you. They care about your money. That's all they care about. Nintendo is starting to show its true colors. And if they don't change, I might stop being a Nintendo fan. I feel like I'm starting to not be a Nintendo fan. But if they keep this up, if they keep up this track record, I might stop being a Nintendo fan. I am tired of Nintendo and their shameful, stupid practices. They're stuck in the 1980s. They're stuck in the 1960s, 70s. And they won't crawl back out. They're stuck in the 1900s. And someone needs to stop it. Nintendo needs to stop. They are starting to go over the edge. Fans are starting to see how Nintendo feels about them. And the more and more they show their true colors, the more and more that the fans will stop. They will go, no, we're not supporting this. Because we believe that everyone has a say in how they love a franchise. Whether that's making a fan game, making fan art, making a sprite, making a render, making art, anything. If you make anything out of love and appreciation for a game series, Nintendo shouldn't take you down. I'm not saying that they should applaud you. I'm not saying that they should comment on your Twitter post. But they should not take you down. Nintendo needs to man up. They need to start treating their customers, their fans, their community with respect. Because people need to be respected. And if they don't feel respected, then guess what? They will not support you. Thank you guys so much for watching. I don't think very many people joined this live stream, but if you watch the replay, thank you so much. I would like to ask you to watch my old nitpicks. And I'm working on one. I'm working on a Christmas special, and I'm working on a collab video. So I would appreciate if you wouldn't watch it. But if this somehow gets Nintendo, which I doubt it will, because Nintendo doesn't watch this stuff, you need to change. Enough is enough.